mightier than we.
Yep.
Come on, let us delay with why?
Go back.
Let us get wise. Unless they multiply.
No sound.
And it comes fast.
Hold on. Go all the way back to the beginning. Hey, Slaki, we caught that. We gonna jump back. Hey, Shalom. Crazy nature princess. Tawada, Aqua. Tawada. Slaki, I said crazy natural princess. Tawada, for letting us know. Tawada. Beautiful. All right, all right. Start back. Just jump all the way back to the top. We do our whole thing.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and most, want to give all praise to Abanawa,
Yahweh, Bashim, Yahusha, Bashim, Rakakudash.
Hey, the bonds be to the elders, Apostle Great Millstone, who taught us through the spirit, peace, and much love, and scientists of Israel, the so-called Negro, that actually makes the order to the Bible, like how we got to see in 2022, and the Holy Bible.
This is First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom, the all shall be one people.
So Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom, all shall be one people, right? And that goes back to the first world order, which started with the Greeks, which started with Alexander and his four generals, right?
And everyone should leave his laws.
But everyone should leave his laws. We're speaking about the Israelites. At that point in time, the Most High set up the Greeks for the Edomites to be the power of the earth, right? And so they wanted us to follow after them. Same thing now in America. We're supposed to act what the white man does. We're not doing that. We're going to follow after them. See, we're going to follow after our. Let me get that real quick. Jeremiah, what's that? 16. Look for the old path. We're looking for the old path of the ways of our forefathers. That's what we're looking for. Not the way of, not this new way of living. This way that Esau has told us to live is against the laws of the Most High and his son. We're transgressing the laws of the Lord by living the way of the so-called white man. This is not the way we're supposed to live. Same thing in the time of the Greeks. They want us to follow after them.
Jeremiah 6 and 16.
Come.
Thus said the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see and ask for the old path.
So stay in the way and see and ask for the old path. What's the old path? The ways of our forefathers, the way we once knew. Us being Israelites. Us having laws, statutes, and judgments and commandments that we've been given. Started out with Adam. Because see, at first it was oral, but then when Moses came on the scene, the Most High etched it on stone to make it clear in the covenant was made with us, and we were supposed to follow after those ways of the Lord. And that's why Yahweh said his blood. And that's why Yahweh said this New Testament shall be for you in my blood, which means testament goes into covenant. The covenant was re-announced with Yahweh, and it was by his blood. That's what we have been able to be adopted back to our power again. Because we were once far off. We were ignorant to the fact that we were Israelites. Go ahead.
Where is the good way and walk therein?
Yes, so where is the good way and walk ye in the way of our forefathers, not this new way, not this way we've been taught here in America.
And ye shall find rest for your souls, but they said we will not walk therein.
Exactly. So we shall find rest in our souls, coming back to this knowledge. Let me get you on me 4:6. So we found rest in this knowledge and this word. We found rest in this, man. We found rest within this knowledge. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 4:6. Keep them forward and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
So this is our wisdom and the wisdom in the sight of the nations. The wisdom we have right now, this is our wisdom, man. This is how we grow, through the sight. This laws, statutes, and judgment we've been given from the Most High.
We shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
That's it. So this great nation is a sort of wise and understanding people. You know, so these laws are wisdom inside of the nations. Go ahead.
For what nation is there so great, who hath the Most High so nigh unto them? As the Lord our power is in all things that we call upon him for. And what nation is there so great that have statutes and judgment, so righteous as all this law.
That's it. So we just read Jeremiah 6:16. Look for the old path, was the ways of our forefathers, which was the ways of the laws and the judgments of the Most High. And that's what Scripture also Ruth the 3rd chapter. Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call upon while he is near. So the Most High is, we got to seek the Most High at this point in time now, because see, the Lord's getting ready to return. Yahweh Shai is getting ready to return and bring forth the kingdom, and establish the kingdom upon the planet Earth, which we've been searching for. Go ahead.
This is Baruch chapter 4 verse 28. For as it was your mind to go astray.
So as it was our mind to go astray, that's why we went off, we transgressed the laws of the Lord. Go ahead.
For as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seek him 10 times more.
So being returned, seek him 10 times more. We return. We have returned to our power. We've returned to the knowledge of the Lord. We have a true knowledge. This is what we have been looking for all this time. We found it. We found what we have been seeking for. Go ahead.
For he hath brought these plagues upon you, shall bring you everlasting joy again with your salvation.
And that's it. So that everlasting joy is soon to come to the elect. Right? Because why? We've been in the, let me get that real quick. Hey, let me teach you chapter 4, verse 1. Why how's it go become dim? See, because
It's Isaiah 55:6. Isaiah 55:6. Seek ye Yahweh while he may be found.
Seek the Lord while he may be found. How do you seek the Lord, man? Through this knowledge, through this word. Through this word. This is how we seek the Lord. We come back to our memories. And this is also hindrance to Esau Edom. They don't want us to know this, man. They want us to keep us in the dark. And then when we go back deeper about how we used to rule Europe, Germany, England, they don't want us to know that, man. You know? The fact that we know who we were.
Call ye upon him while he is near.
So call ye upon while he is near. Who all call upon the use of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai.
Right. Lamentation. This lamentation is 4:1. How is the gold become dim?
Yes, how is the gold become dim? Go ahead.
How is the most fine gold changed?
So how's the most fine gold changed? That's what we once were at a certain point in time. We was once more, which is Ophir. That's why it was Isaiah 13 and 12. I should make a man more precious than fine gold, even the wedge of Ophir. So that's the most precious gold you can ever have. That's what we once likened it back in the time of David, Solomon, right? All these other we was esteemed people. But now what's that? Hosea 1:8 that you shall be a no people. Now we became once was a people.
Okay.
Go ahead.
This is Hosea chapter 1 verse 8. Now when she had weaned Lo Rumah, she conceived and bare a son.
Yep.
Then said the Most High, call his name Lo-Ami, for ye are not my people.
We are not. Why are we not the Lord's people? Because we was going off. We was transgressing the laws of the Most High. We wasn't following after the way we were supposed to. We were going up another way. Wasn't it, like I said again, the time of the Greeks? We was doing it as the Greeks. And we was in the Babylonian captivity, we was doing it after the Babylonians. In the Roman captivity, we was doing it after the Romans. Go ahead.
And I will not be your God.
Yo, I will not be your power. So Moses, I ain't gonna be your power no more. Because you niggas is going off. You doing all the wickedness, and I'm not about to deal with you no more. Go ahead.
Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered.
Yeah, because my people are scattered amongst all throughout the world. That's why I told Moses he's going to scatter. Moses is going to scatter us throughout the world, a witness unto all nations. We will scatter abroad. Go ahead.
And this shall come to pass, that in the place where it was said unto them, you are not my people.
Yeah, this is here in America. We don't talk that. We don't talk that we were African. We don't talk that we were Afro-American. We talk that we were black. We talk that we were Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Native Indians. We talk all these other different powers and powers other than what our true nationality was, that we were the Israelites.
That's right, go ahead.
There it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power.
Yeah, that now it should be said, we are the sons of the living power. In this time now, we're coming back to who we were. We're remembering ourselves when in our captivity. Go ahead.
Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together.
That's it, the children of Judah and the children of Ephraim. Which the Ephraim is the whole northern tribe. Right? In the southern Judah, some of the southern tribe, Negroes, Haitians, and Jamaicans. Go ahead.
And appoint themselves one head. And they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel.
That's it. So we shall come up out of the land. What's that? The land of the north, America. This is the time now we all be gathering together underneath of the one banner, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and we're gonna get delivered from out of here. That's right. That's our redemption that's coming.
Isaiah 13 and 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir.
That's it. The Lord said, I'll make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man of the wedge of Ophir. And Ophir gold is very precious. And that's who we are in the sight of the Lord. And also the scriptures liken us unto what? We are what? Lively stones? Called unto what? A lively hope? You know? Go ahead.
This is go back to Lamentations 4 and 1. How is the gold become dim?
Yeah.
How is the most fine gold changed?
Yes, so we was born to spy gold. We've been changed, bro. Look at Jake today. Jake is on a low ass level, man. Yeah. Like I said, you get mad when you start talking about King Charles V, his son, King Philip. You know what I'm saying? You start reading about King James, all these other rulers also of England that once ruled England. And you look at us now today, we ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? We ain't nothing. Go ahead.
The stones of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street.
That's it. We're poured out all through the top of the street like we just ain't nothing, man. That's how the so-called black man is labeled today. That's nothing. Go ahead.
The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold, how are thy esteemed as earthen pictures?
Yes, how we esteem now as earthen pictures, man. You don't get no respect from nobody. You don't get respect from your own woman. She don't even fucking respect you, man. You gotta work a 9 to 5 from Esau, you know. Here he's you a king. It's all give let me get that real quick, you know. Secondary, what's that? Alright. Go ahead.
The work of the hands of the potter.
Yep.
Even this.
That's it, man.
Which is 2 Ezra chapter 6, verse 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest, Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all. And the people also whom thou hast chosen.
Yeah, even the people that thou hast chosen, which we are, the Israelites. Go ahead. But you got like over like 100-some different dialects of Africa. What language do you speak? There's different dialects in the African language. Which one did you speak? Nigga can't tell you. You know, a nigga can't tell you, you know? Go ahead.
But we thy people, whom thou hast called, thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover are given into their hands.
Yeah, we've been given into the hands of the wicked, man. Go ahead.
If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world?
Yes, so the world with us. Why do we run this shit, man? Why do we got the big plus houses? Why our face ain't on the money? You know what I'm saying? Why we ain't living like kings, we living like peasants, man. Go ahead.
How long shall this endure?
How long shall this endure? That's the question. So Ezra asked this question to the Lord. So then you read, let me get Acts chapter 1 and verse 6. Because the apostles asked him the same thing. He said, when went thou at this time restored to the kingdom unto Israel, man? But they were seeking the kingdom. The men of the Lord always been seeking for us to put back on top. As back in the time of Jacob.
Acts 1 and 6. When they therefore were come together, they asked him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel?
And they was asking, Lord, this time when thou restored to the kingdom to Israel, because why they were seeking the kingdom. They were seeking to get put back in the order as they once were before. Go ahead.
And he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father hath put in his own power. But ye shall receive power after the Holy Ghost is come upon you. And ye shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost parts of the earth.
Yes, we'll be witnesses unto the Lord in the uttermost parts of the earth. I mean, we will scatter amongst all the most other parts of the earth. We're going to be witnesses. Because while we're witnessing the scriptures, we're witnessing what's going on. We're testifying of the word of the Lord, and we're bringing it out. Go ahead.
And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight.
Yeah, that was a chariot, a UFO. Go ahead.
And while they looked steadfastly towards heaven, as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven?
Yep.
This same Yahushua which is taken up from you into heaven shall come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven.
Yes, so just like Yahushua left the earth when he came to the apostles and talked to them, spoke to them, left them in the UFO, going to come back in that same manner. Right.
This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven.
Yep.
And then shall all the tribes of the earth be born.
Yeah, because why? Because y'all was just coming back to comfort. Go ahead.
And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory.
And that cloud of UFOs, the chariots. That's right. Go ahead.
And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet.
Yep.
And they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other.
Yeah, because why? We have been scattered. Why? We've been pushed out to the dispersion. We've been scattered all out the world. So those strangers that we read, what's that, Isaiah, we read that with Isaiah 14, the strangers shall flee. Those are Israelites that were ignorant to the fact that they didn't know who they were. Right. They were in a Gentile state of mind. And that's why we're being gathered together again, through the word. Right? We've all, that's why we're all here right now. Because both sides, we heard the words of the Lord, they gathered us together. And now we're waiting for Yahweh Shai to come deliver us.
That's right. That's right.
Go ahead.
This is Revelation chapter 1, verse 7.
Yep.
Behold, he cometh in clouds, and every eye shall see him.
Yep.
And they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen.
That's it. So Yahweh Shai is coming in clouds, which are the UFOs, all nations are going to bewail him, are going to be crying, even though that's what's pierced them. Because why? That's reincarnation. See, because those dudes that pierced Yahweh Shai, back in those centurions that pierced Yahweh Shai, they're back on the back today. So Yahweh Shai gonna get his back on him, man. You best believe. Right?
I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, said the Lord, which is, which was, which is to come, the Almighty.
That's the which was and which is and which is to come. So Yahweh Shai is soon to come. So when Yahweh Shai comes, that's the beginning of our life. That's when we get back our life again, because he's our Lord. So we're waiting patiently for him to return. What you got?
I want to listen to this.
Okay, go ahead.
I got one too.
This is Jeremiah 2, verse 33. Why trimmest thou ways to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways.
That's it. So we trimmed our ways to seek love, man. Like Jake, you don't do anything to get accepted by the so-called white man. He do anything to get accepted by Esau to get that. Look at these rappers. Right. They tell their people drugs. They promote all that shit in a music video to have Jake brainwashed in his mind and think life was a damn music video.
Hey, they'll go eat and drink feces.
Exactly.
You know, they'll get up behind them closed doors. They go to Bohemian Groves. They go lay up on the bed and bend over.
Yep.
You know, before Cat Williams got all messed up, he told about how when he went up in the little party, he didn't want to go, and he ended up going to the party. He went up and he was walking, and he looked in one door. He said he couldn't believe who he seen in there. He was like, oh shit, like he didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? He looking like, you know, he like, this what y'all doing up here?
Yeah.
You know, these two dudes, I ain't gonna say no name, but you know, but the day he get, you know, the things he was saying, he seen from women, you wouldn't believe the people. So why trimmest thou thy ways, man? That's not your ways. Now you don't go back to that. You know, that's Esau, that's the Greeks. That's why when you go look back in Rome, they had the pictures, the Greek gods and shit, standing one upside down, sucking one rod, and the other one sucking a little baby sucking his rod. Like that's some wicked shit, man. Like we talk about that movie Alexander. He's a pure flaming dragon. He wanted to be with his like general or whatever.
Yeah,
he was in love with that man.
He had affection with his generals.
One of his generals.
And then when he took over King Darius, he didn't want the woman. He wanted his servant. He was a boy. Yeah. Long hair, she washed him in a bathroom. In a bathtub. He's a faggot, man. Faggot. Alexander was a straight flaming faggot.
Why the hell you want a man washing you in a tub? Yeah. All these beautiful, he had a woman. The heathen women wanted him. You all these beautiful fucking women, but yet you want to have a man come in and service you, man. What?
Yeah. Then they had like a meeting. He had kissed him on his fucking mouth, man.
That
nigga Alexander 50, man.
But it's all through their culture, man. Right? That's their thing. Like they would do. They would have them. If you ever watched that, and it shows Spartacus. If y'all ever watched, y'all watch Spartacus. Y'all know you probably watched Spartacus.
I watched a little bit of it. I ain't watched the whole thing.
Yeah, it's one of those things. When you get into it, But it shows that how before Jake was taken. Before Jake took down the eastern Rome, took down western Rome, which we know east was Jake and west was Esau, which we was in the fight pits. Check it out, bro. And when it shows they would have these what they call them now, swinger parties now. Esau called it and shit. They had these parties in there back in that time, and they would be, first they started with the women. You be taking their little drugs, whatever they be having and shit. Then next thing you know, the further along it went from them having women till you start seeing the men kissing each other in the corners and shit. They started flipping to the women, the men. You started seeing, then it started getting all fucked up. So my man who's running it, he started laying up with another man. While all in the midst of it, they got these two Jakes, Jake male and the why they how about she not shy for that much, but they showed a Jake male and a Jake female. Now she was married. It was so wicked. She was married to this one Jake. But they made his best friend, which he was like a northern tribe, right? They made him blow her open, man.
Oh, man.
They had, while they doing all this elusive debauchery, they got her getting blown open by some another slave, man, which was Jacob. They had Jacob slavery at that time, man. It's some wicked shit, man. But that's Esau, man.
Yeah, because when we started growing the Holy Roman Empire, man, Jake was doing incest.
Yeah.
All types of shit. Jake was being wicked.
And Jake was just falling right. Hey, shit, go back to Egypt. Right, Egypt was like, is that what you said, Egypt?
No, Holy Roman Empire.
Yeah. But Egypt was
Egypt
like that.
Yep.
Because before, because when you go back to Moses, what is it? Moses' mother and father were uncle and auntie.
Yeah.
Okay? That's wicked.
Yeah.
That was Moses' father's brother's daughter. Or if I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna go back and check it out, make sure I'm right. But it was, it was close to kin. You're not supposed to have your father's daughter, you know what I mean? But during that time, we was doing all that kind of wicked shit, man. They was doing that man loving men shit then.
And that's all that shit comes from the Egyptians.
Yeah.
That's because Esau's a copycat, man.
Right.
So everything Esau sees is gonna copy.
Right.
Because he's perverse. That's why we say he's what's it? But you had yeah, what's something like that? You said he's profane, which means outside the temple. He's profane as fuck.
It's off.
John 3:19, and this is the condemnation, that light is come into the world.
Yes, and with that light. You know what I'm saying? And that ultimately was Yahweh Shah. Because Yahweh Shah was that light. Because John was the direct of that light, which was Yahweh Shah.
And men love darkness rather than light.
Men love darkness rather than light. So men rather with darkness represents ignorance. Right? A man rather be ignorant than be in the know. A nigga rather live lies and live truth, because like I said again, truth is hard, man. Truth is hard to take. But see, it's easy to take a lie. Because you can smooth your way through a lie all day. You can lie to yourself all day, make yourself feel good. Well, if you tell yourself the truth, you gotta get real with yourself, man. You gotta cut yourself out. You gotta deny yourself. So men rather stay in that dark way of living. Go ahead.
Because their deeds were evil.
Yeah, because their deeds were evil, man. See, our people in that time, that's something about Jake. Their deeds was evil themselves. The high priests, you know what I'm saying? Cut to them, they was wicked as all else. They was against the Messiah. They loved that dark way of living, man. A lot of them priests, they would commit adultery. Because you read that in the Apocrypha about Susanna, you had those high priests. They try to lay with Susanna, man, and then a lot of them said that she was trying to lay with them. Then that's how people were getting down.
For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved.
That's lest his deeds should be reproved. And that's what people don't want, that reproof. See, people don't want to get rebuked, man. People don't want to get corrected by the Most High, because if you've been living in this world, you've been living in a way of darkness. But then you gotta reprove everything you've been doing. And that'll hurt a nigga, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you've been a Christian for 34 years. You gotta denounce that whole entire doctrine and come into the knowledge of your Israelite. You gotta get the point. Yeah, that's the order.
This is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one or sell of meat sold his birthright.
That's just a profane person, man. I was meaning outside the temple, because Esau is a profane individual. That's why anytime that's when I speak about the wickedness group. See, wickedness started when Esau came into power. With son of Alexander, that's when that wicked root started growing out. Yeah, go ahead.
The word profane means accessible, local to the tribe, places profane, unhallowed, public place of men ungodly.
Esau's ungodly as hell. So white man is an ungodly individual. Because that's that wicked ass seed. You know?
This right here, we were talking about earlier, you know, about that all that famous and all that wickedness. This Romans 1 and 25.
Yeah.
Who changed the truth of Yahweh into a lie?
Yeah, see, who changed truth into the Most High?
Who changed the truth of Yahweh by Shem Shai into a lie?
Yeah, so who changed the truth into a lie, man? So who made the Yahweh Shai so-called white man?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Who made the angels as little babies with wings? Right. You know what I'm saying? As Edomites.
Who made the Lord with what's that down? Moses and the Lord?
No, Adam and the Lord. With the micro
Yeah, with the micro peace.
Yeah, that's that Renaissance shit, man.
Right. Who changed the truth of Yahweh by Shem Shai into a lie?
Yup.
And worship and serve the creature more than the creator,
That's it.
who is blessed forever. Hallelujah. For this cause Yahweh gave them up unto vile affection.
Yes, the Most High gave you unto vile affection. Go ahead.
For even their women did change the natural use into which is against nature.
That's it. So you got all these trends, right? Women change. Women want to be men. Men want to be women. That was going time. That was big. That was heavy in Rome, man. Homosexuality was big in Rome, and that's why America is heavy in homosexuality. Go ahead.
And likewise, also the men leaving the natural use of the woman,
That's it.
burned in their lust, one toward another,
Yeah.
men with men, working that which is unseemly.
That's unseemly. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said again, man, those Greeks were fucking wicked, man. You know, Alexander was a demon, because he was heavy in homosexuality. That's an unseemly act, man, a man with another man. You know, they supposed to get put to death according to the law. But see, in America, they allowed to be, they accept it. They accept, let's look at Dwayne Wade, his son. That little boy's a fucking
Oh
straight,
man, that's all
straight
shit hard.
flame.
That's some horrible shit.
His son supposed to get, the way they supposed to get put to death and his son,
And
man.
they changing his face, man.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
getting face surgery done.
Oh, yeah.
Cause I seen that dude face on the last. They went to the award show thing, and he was standing there with that wicked ass demon of a woman he got. It was Dwayne Wade, the wicked demon. I guess it was a little girl, and then it was the boy. But then it was like, wait, damn! I had to look a couple times. Yeah, Gabrielle. Yeah, but he was standing next to Gabrielle Union. I had to look, man, a couple times. I said, is that that son? Because now he almost looking full-fledged transvestite, man. He looked almost starting to look like a full fucking woman, man. You know? You got a precept?
Yeah, I got a precept.
Go ahead.
Psalms 81 and 11. But my people would not hearken to my voice, and Israel would not of me. So I gave them up to their own hearts, lust, and they walked in their own counsels. Oh, that my people had hearkened unto me, and Israel had walked in my ways. I should, verse 14, I should soon have subdued their enemies and turned my hand against their adversaries.
Right.
And that's it. Some people, the Most High give unto their own lust. And saying that we would have did right, the Most High was to do our enemies right before us. We got to grab it too late. She didn't speak about that. And the Lord would give us everything through the fall after his ways, but Jake went away.
An unseemly means an unseemly deed.
That's unseemly deed.
Of a woman, genitals, of one's nakedness, shame.
That's a shame.
Shame.
So that's a shame to be homosexual, man.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? That shit's wicked as hell. But you got people, when Isaiah, what's that, 3? When it says Isaiah 3, they walk their way off the salt and they love it so.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what our people do.
I think it's like about 3 and 6.
Yeah.
Let's go to the top. Let's go to the top.
This is Isaiah chapter 3 verse 1. For behold, the Lord of armies, doeth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water, the mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet, and the prudent and the ancient, the captain of 50 and the honorable man, and the counselor and the cunning artificer, and the eloquent orator, and I will give children to be their princes,
and babes shall rule over you.
That children will be their princes. Esau's as for the child. You read that Job 30? He is a base name as a child. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And the people shall be oppressed, every one by another, and every one by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient.
And then see, Esau's the child, man.
And see, it's like behind we the ancient. Because we were before him.
Exactly.
See?
So no Adam. So no Adam. It's about the Most High gave us the laws, and the Lord ultimately chose Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
That's right.
So we're the ancient. So that's what the Lord said, thou forgot, thou fervent love. We was before all nations.
And the base against the honorable.
Yeah, the base against the honorable. Man, Esau, so what means these are base individuals. You see the way these devils rule? They're base as hell. They who produce their own water in their own air. And then set out on a goddamn so-called disease to kill people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that matter of fact, that Bill Gates back on again talking about killing more people off.
Yeah, Bill Gates is big,
He
man.
talking about pushing over, and you know who brought it out? It's Watchdog 7.
Oh,
And he said he be telling on Bill Gates, man. He got another little thing coming out talking about putting, needing to give more vaccines, to people, man.
The Sticky Vicky, the Sticky
Right.
Vicky. The Sticky Vicky.
Man, come
Yeah,
on.
that's Sticky Vicky, man. God. That's what they trying to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
When a man shall take hold of his brother of the house of his father, saying, Thou hast cloaked, be thou our ruler, and let this ruin be under thy hand.
Yep.
In that day shall he swear, saying, I would not be an healer, for in my house is neither bread nor clothing.
Yep.
Make me not a ruler of the people, for Jerusalem is ruined, and Judah is fallen.
That's just so Jerusalem is ruling. Regular gets like.
This is Isaiah chapter 3 verse 8. For Jerusalem is ruined,
Yeah, see, Jerusalem is ruling. Go ahead.
and Judah is fallen.
And Judah is falling, and Judah being the head tribe. Man, we fall as a people. Go ahead.
Because their tongues and their doings are against the Lord.
That's it. We was, man, Jake was wicked as hell. Like, when you read certain scriptures, man, it speaks about how wicked our people were, man. Even when Moses let us out of Egypt, out of the Red Sea, Jake was immediately started making a golden calf. And then Moses had to come down and rebuke their ass, man. Immediately. You read that, say Deuteronomy 7 to 9.
Hey, that's the spirit. He's there.
Oh, no,
That's the spirit, man. Hey, Chloe, how much you say you got Deuteronomy 7?
Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 7 verse 6.
That was the spirit.
For thou art a holy people unto the Lord. Thou power and the Lord thou power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
That's it. So we were told to be a special people until so we're supposed to be holy, which means separate. Go ahead.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Above all people that are above the face of the earth. We're supposed to be of all people, man. See, we're supposed to be over everybody.
That's right.
We're supposed to be right now. We're supposed to be giving service.
That's right.
We're supposed to get service.
And that go back to Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 14.
And that's it. But we fell off. See, because our people was doing wickedness. They were evil in the sight of the Lord.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 9.
Right.
Verse 7. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor chose you, because ye were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people.
Yep.
But because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn
That's just the most I kept an oath with our forefathers. Go ahead.
unto your fathers,
Yep.
hath the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondage.
Bondage. And that's just so out of Egypt. And that's why the Most High lives out of Egypt at that time, because he made a covenant with our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He ultimately made that covenant with Abraham, the covenant of circumcision. Then it got passed on to Isaac, then Jacob, then the 12 patriarchs. So that was the Most High promised us this. So the Most High lived us from out of the land of Egypt in the old time. What's going for now? It's going to happen again.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 9 verse 7. Remember and forget not how thou provokest the Lord thy power to wrath from the day that thou didst depart out of the land of Egypt.
So we brought the Most High to anger. Even so we the part of it was pissing the Lord off already. And that's why that's why we fucking where we are now in this body. We was going off, man. Jake was giving sacrifice unto other gods, doing all types of wickedness, doing as Egypt was, man. Go ahead.
Until ye came unto this place, ye have been rebellious against the Lord.
Yep.
Also in Horeb, ye provoked the Lord to wrath, so that the Lord was angry with you to have destroyed you.
The most I want to destroy us, man. The Lord wanted to destroy a lot of our people because they wicked themselves. That's why you read that Isaiah, their mouth and their deeds destroyed them. Our deeds destroyed us, man.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 9, verse 9. When I was gone up into the mountain to receive the tables of stone.
Now this is Moses speaking, go ahead. So when Moses giving the law from the Lord, go ahead.
Even the tables of the covenant which the Lord made with you. Then I abode in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. I neither did eat bread nor drink water. Then the Lord delivered unto me 2 tables of stones written with the fingers of the Most High.
Yeah, with some fingers with a cherry. With a cherry leaves. Go ahead.
Nice and fine.
Nice and fine lines, yep.
And on them was written according to all the words which the Lord spake with you in the mount out of the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly.
Yep.
And it came to pass at the end of 40 days and 40 nights that the Lord gave me the 2 tables of stone, even the tables of the covenant. And the Lord said unto me, Arise, get thee down quickly from hence, for thy people which thou hast brought forth out of Egypt have corrupted themselves.
Yeah, so this is quick as hell. 40 days later, niggas is going off, man. Jake already going off. You niggas, 40 days. You already being wicked. Why did the Lord fuck this up in the first place? You know what I'm saying? Because some shit like that. Go ahead.
They are quickly turned aside out of the way which I commanded.
Yeah, quickly turn off the side. So nigga, and that's so you man, Jake is quick to do wickedness, man. Jake is quick to just go off and do some other shit that he's not supposed to do. That niggas mischievous, man. Go ahead.
They have made them a molten image.
Yep.
Furthermore, the Lord spake unto me, saying, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people.
Stiff-necked, bro. We niggas hard-headed. Go ahead. But Jake is hard. But that's how you know we are the Israelites. Cause see, Jake is hard-headed. You can't tell Jake shit, bro. You can't tell Jake nothing. You know, Jake think he know everything, but don't really know anything. You know? Go ahead.
Let me alone, that I may destroy them, and blot out their name from under heaven.
So, the Lord was about to cast our ass out. The Lord was quick. You know what?
Let me get this Jeremiah 4:22. For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children.
Foolish children. Go ahead.
And they have none understanding.
Yeah, you got it. Go ahead.
They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge.
Just say so they have no knowledge of doing good at all.
But they wise to do that.
They're wise to do
They're
good.
quick to get to it. You know?
Look at Jake. Jake is a mischievous ass nigga. When you let Jake think about some shit, he'll think about a different way how to get over on somebody, how to scam a nigga. Jake, you know, Jake is quick with that wickedness, but when it comes right to Jake is slow.
Slow shit. Yeah.
Jake don't know how to do good. They don't know how to do good to each other. What did Jake do in the hood? They burn each other, flip each other down and shit. Over color, over a woman. You know? That's how people get down, man. Go ahead.
It's Deuteronomy chapter 9, verse 14. Let me alone, that I may destroy them, and blot out their name from under heaven.
The Lord's like, man, I'm about to destroy these niggas, man. I don't want to do it no more. Go ahead.
And I will make of thee a nation mightier and greater than they. So I turned and came down from the mount, and the mount burned with fire, and the 2 tables of the covenant were in my 2 hands. And I looked, and behold, ye have sinned against the Lord your power.
Yeah, so you gotta imagine Jake. That's why Apostle always says, visit what you read. So, you know, so when Moses came down from the mountain, right, you gotta imagine Jake partying and shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you know, having a good old time, gets to go to camp. So Moses like, man, what the hell is going on? A whole bunch of commotion, a whole bunch of partying and shit. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Ye have turned.
Let me, I got precept you right here in the middle of that.
Okay.
I got, this is Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach. Yeah, double just start here because it's Esau, but it's Jake too. This Sirach 14 and 4. He that gathereth by defrauding his own soul gathereth for others, that shall spend his goods righteously. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good?
That's it. So now people are evil to himself. Jake is evil to himself. Jake hates himself. Because Jake want to be like, look at our women. They want to wear the blonde hair. They want to look like the so-called white. They want to be the so-called white man. The men of our nation, they want to be like the so-called white man. They want to live like them. You know what I'm saying? Really, ultimately, it's innocent to be like that. That's how we were given to go. The group is a thing
right now,
but Jake chased after the wrong men. You know, Jake wanted the so-called white man's approval. He wanted his type of approval in everything. Football, basketball, or whatever. You being a doctor, whatever you're trying to do, you gotta get Esau to prove for it. And they'll fight each other over that approval. They'll kill each other over that approval.
That's right.
Go ahead.
He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good?
Yep.
He should not take pleasure in his goods.
That's it. You don't take pleasure on this is evil to himself, which he don't appreciate what he has. You know, a lot of people never really appreciate the fact that we had the Most High. Jake never appreciated that he had his own laws, his own statutes and judgments. But that's why did King Saul come about? King Saul came about because our people see the other nations, they had kings. But they said, Lord, why can we have kings? Everyone else has a king.
Yeah,
the Moabites got a king.
That's how we got king. That's how we got the first king.
Cause
that's right.
Jake never
had a king.
Yeah,
you had your house. You didn't need no king.
Yeah. The ultimate king. So that's why our people never appreciated what they had.
Hey, what did he tell them? He told me, so okay, this is why they want a king. Samuel, we're gonna give him a king.
They give him Saul.
But what the king they get, they gonna give him was it a tenth of everything? He gonna take your women. He gonna take your children. He gonna take your husbands. He gonna send them to war. You know, he gonna just rule and reign. You gonna give him your goods. I mean, you know, Lord's like, you want a king, have your king. You know what I'm saying? Because with Yahweh, it was, you know, we all was, you know, just worshiping, praising him. You know, we didn't have to worry about worshiping, praising Yahweh and man too. You know.
And that's a problem with Jake. They don't appreciate what they have. They want to let everybody else.
Yeah, that's it.
Jeremiah 4:16, make ye mention to the nations, behold, publish against Jerusalem, that watchers come from a far country, and give out their voice against the city of Judah. As keepers of a field are they against her round about, because she has been rebellious against me, saith the Lord.
Yes, we've been rebellious against all time. We've been rebellious against Yahweh, Shai. And our people still rebel to this day. Jake don't want to return to the Lord, man. Jake don't want to come out here, put the garment song, be a mockery to these fucking people out here, make me fools for Yahweh, Shai say. Nigga, well, live good, man. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, they live for the now, man.
Yeah, live for the now.
They don't believe in their future. Hey, man, that is what it is. They live for right now, right here, right now. I need that money now. Right. I need it. You know what I mean? It's like Esau. What did Esau do with Jacob when he was cooking that pottage?
Yeah, I need it now.
He was like, fuck that. I need that now. Fuck my birthright. Fuck the future. Fuck what my kids not gonna be able to do or who they not gonna be. I fuck the Lord. That's what he said. Right. He's like, that's because that's what the Lord knows. Oh, fuck me. Well, nigga, when DMX tell him, oh, it's fuck me, nigga, still fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's basically what he said to him, man. Right. You know, he told you how about smell shot, man. I don't want none of that. All I want to do is eat. You know, I'm hungry. You know? Right, what is this birthright gonna do to me for the future? Fuck my kids in the future, you know what I'm saying? Hey, what they do to him now, man? They set him up for the worst scenarios, man. You know?
Because when you read about Esau and Jacob later on, when Jacob gets his wives, he meets Esau again. Esau now is a mighty man. So Esau, he wasn't thinking. No. When Esau came back, he seen Esau and Jacob like, damn, he got all these men. All these men with him and shit. He had Esau had it all.
Hey, Jacob had them with his women.
Yeah, Jacob had them with his women, with the kids, you know what I'm saying?
And his asses.
Yeah, but Esau became a mighty man. So Esau felt like, well, I need it anyway. And then that's why Esau wasn't pissed off because he had shit. So Jacob, he was looking at Jacob, man, you
like, oh man, you just got some asses and some women.
You
ain't nothing to worry about.
Yeah, he doesn't worry. Exactly. That's why he went on Bond's way. That's why he forgot about killing Jacob. But see, he got the most high blessing of pleasure. When you get pleasure, you forget about shit that you get mad. You forget about it, man. Fuck that birthright. I got what I got now.
He loved his blessing. He got the fatness of the earth.
That's it.
Jeremiah 4:18, thy ways and thy doings have produced these things unto thee. procure these things unto thee. This is thy wickedness, because it is bitter, because it reacheth unto thine heart.
That's the reason to thy mind. You know what I'm saying? You know, go ahead.
My bowels, I am pain at my very heart. And my heart maketh a noise in me. I cannot hold my peace because
his, bro. Hey, the Lord, his.
Bro,
You know how you get mad at somebody, man. You want to fuck somebody up so bad, you don't mind. Like, no.
Because thou hast heard, O my soul, the sound of my trumpet, the Lord of war.
Now it's been out. Go ahead.
Destruction upon destruction is cry. For the whole
destruction upon destruction is cry. Go ahead.
For the whole land is spoiled. Suddenly are my tents spoiled, and my curtains in a moment. How long shall I see the standing and hear the sound of the trumpet? For my people is foolish. They have not known. They are silent children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge.
That's so little, like, man, the other followers pissed off with Jacob. You know, that's why we go back to this.
This is Judges chapter 2, verse 11. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord and served by lips.
Now, the book of Judges is written about very good judges that delivered Israel out of captivity after captivity after captivity after captivity. Go ahead.
And they forsook the Lord, the Most High, of their fathers, which brought them out of the land of Egypt, and followed other gods, of the gods of the people that were round about them.
That's what they fall.
This is Judges chapter 2, verse 11. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and served by limb. And they forsook the Lord's power of their fathers.
Yeah, we forsook the Most High. Go ahead.
Which brought them out of the land of Egypt, and followed other gods, of the gods of the people that were round about them.
Yeah, so that's it. So that Jake do that. Jake see somebody do something, he gonna copy it, but he gonna do it to a better extent. So now they might have been praising Buddha one way, but look at Jake praising Buddha a whole different way.
Right.
But better than the way they doing it. You know what I'm saying? How the hell you gonna praise someone else? Look what they do for Jesus.
And that goes show you like, they all strategy. Well, even when you look at basketball, it's the same way. When they first came out with basketball, Esau would pass the ball like 20 times before one person shot it, man. Here now, you pass the ball to me times, and you could have dunked it. You could have made about 15, 20, 30 points by that time, man. But here, Jake get the ball, he runs, snatch it, go to the hole, bam! Like he dunking on everybody. You know, that's like, wait, why he ain't passing? Because it takes too long. You know, yeah, you doing something, but we'll do it better.
Exactly.
You know, that's how Jake is, man.
And that pisses the Lord off. You see, like, man, here it is. I'm married unto you, but here it is. You gonna worship someone else better. You gonna worship me.
Yeah.
And nigga, you call after my name.
Yeah.
It's like you get a woman, she do you wrong, but she's other niggas she treat her better. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You get pissed. You want, hey man, I'm about to fuck him in here. You know what I'm saying? But that's why we move to both sides of jealousy. But our idolatry just won't work on the horse, man. Of course that. Harness.
And they go with the cars too. You look at these cars, all these cars now come out with 20-inch rims on them. But that was Jake, man. They copied that shit out of Jake doing that, man. You know, Jake started putting the 22-inch spinning rims on their cars, you know, making just a customization. Usually when you claim it on your insurance, you couldn't claim it because it was a customization. But now they got it where now you can claim it now on your insurance and you just put it down for a customization on your car and shit, you know what I'm saying? But now you look, you go to the lot, you can get some all black 20s, you know, on your whip, coming right off the lot. That was unheard of. It was, every car was standard with either 16 or 17-inch rims. It's standard, you know?
But then that's Esau's fall like a Jake.
And that shows his falling too.
Yeah.
That shows his wickedness, his weakness.
Like I said again too, like the same thing happened in the time of Rome will happen again in America. But see, it's not gonna happen like that. Y'all was trying to come back. Because if Jake get over on Esau now, it's gonna be wicked. See, it's not gonna be right. That's why Yahweh Shai gotta come back. The king gotta come back and put order down. Because if we was to rule over Esau right now, man, that shit wouldn't be right, bro.
Nah, hell,
niggas would be.
Look at what we are.
Yeah, niggas wouldn't be right, man.
This.
Hell no. That shit'd be terrible, man.
How would he want Jake to rule?
No.
But Jake is because the wickedness is so heavy in our people,
Yeah,
man. And they so lost. We couldn't get his rulership to Jake. Look, man, you think about it. You have Al Sharpton, Reverend Jesse Jackass Jackson.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, man. That'll be your leaders, man.
Yeah.
You know what's that? Column Harris. Come on, man. What you gonna do with that, man? She'll put all of us in prison, man. Hey, why they playing games? Hey, who did that 3 Strikes You Outlaw in California? Kalama Harris, man. Whatever her name is, man. And she ain't even a Jake anyway. She's a fucking Hindu, Elam. You know what I'm saying? She from
Elamite.
Right, she an Elamite. So why would you want to put that over you? You know what I'm saying? Oh, you want Oprah Winfrey over you, man? You know? Who you gonna put up there? Michael Jordan? Hey, this nigga to open up prisons upon prisons. And he told little black kids stop buying these shoes because it ain't for you. Because you poor. You can't afford it. That's what you want, you know what I mean? That's what you want over you? That's your leaders?
That's all you look up to, man. Go ahead.
Jeremiah 3:6. Yahweh said also unto me in the days of Josiah the king, as thou see that which backsliding Israel have done, she is gone up upon every high mountain and under every green tree, and there hath played the harlot.
They have played the harlot. So we went every government, we went every high tree you see, man. Jake was just all up in it. Go ahead.
And I said, after she had done all these things, turn down unto me, but she returned not.
Yeah, I said, all the Lord said, say, man, return, come back. Come back to me. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And her treacherous sister Judah saw it.
And her treacherous sister Judah saw it. So they Judah follow after Israel. Because you need another tribe, man, they fucking through. You know, you going to it's a car spot, man, you gonna get some Mexican food, whatever. They got headers, pistos all over that bitch. Diablo, it's all over, man.
Bro, they all kind of wicked shit.
You know,
they got the dead, what's that shit called, like
the day. They had the stores and
bro,
shit.
Yeah, man,
you know
all
what I'm
the
saying?
skeleton heads.
Yeah, you go, it's called like tequila.
Yeah.
The scarlet and shit, you know. You see, man, you watching, man, it's a car, man.
Oh, yeah.
They're really into that shit. They get the skull on their backs and shit. You know what I'm saying? Represent, and they put their dead person on the side.
They set up altars and
shit.
shit.
They do all that shit, man. They had the little ass. They had Mother Mary and Yahushua and the angels. All they're heavy in idolatry, man. Go ahead.
And I saw, wait for all the cause whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery.
Yep.
I have put her away and given her a bill of divorce.
That's the most side divorce no rappers. He said, man, I'm giving you a bill of divorce. Cause you too much. You always breaking my heart, man. Every time I bring you back, you gonna do some shit on me again. Come on now, go ahead.
Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also.
Yes, so Judah did the same thing. And they played the harlot just like Israel. Go ahead.
And it came to pass through the lightness of her whoredom that she defiled the land and committed adultery with stones and with stocks.
Yes, it's stones and stocks. Go ahead.
And yet for all this, her treacherous sister Judah have not turned unto me with her whole heart, but
That's it. So Judah did the same thing as Israel. With some other gods, other philosophies, other nations, and they was all into it. And they didn't repent. They didn't care. And that's just not a day.
Jeremiah 3:10, and yet for all this her treacherous sister Judah have not turned unto me with the whole heart, but feedingly, saith the Lord. And the Lord said unto me, the backsliding Israel have justified herself more than treacherous Judah. Go.
Right quick. And this is Hosea 4:17. 4:16. 15. Though thou Israel play the harlot, yet let not Judah offend, and come not ye unto Gabal, neither go ye up to Bethaven, nor swear the Lord liveth. For Israel slideth back as a backsliding heifer.
So Israel slided back as a backsliding heifer. You know, a hoe, man. You know, a modern day word, back in the day it's called heifers, man, would be a hoe. So other people were sliding back, man, especially, like I said again, the northern tribe. That's why when you read that, I think it was that either 2 Kings 17 or 1 Kings 17, right? When they went when they went over to the Syrian captivity, and then when Israel left the Syrian captivity, they came over into the Americas, and niggas was going off, man. That's why the Incas, the Aztecs and the Mayas, they was killing themselves and giving themselves up for offerings. So the dad, the moon god, the sun god, the water god, like they was going off, man. Yeah, the virgin shit, and that's why I seen Christians when the Crusaders came. Christians from the low king, they was killing all them fucking Aztecs. That was the Lord.
They was calling them animals. Yeah, that is an animal, even though Esau is an animal coming in, but they were seeing killing their own people
and they sacrificing themselves. But see, but that was ultimately the Lord, because like through the hand of Esau and shit. Yeah, no doubt. That's why people come off the loan to keep like these niggas, man.
Hey, that movie that y'all watch, I think, what is BC? Damn, wait, what is it called? Apocalypto? Yeah. Something like that. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Hey man, they show a lot of that shit, man. That they was doing, man. They was sacrificing their women, sacrificing their little girls. That was beautiful, man. Northern Kingdom, man.
That's all we do.
They moved too, bro.
Yeah.
Jeremiah 3:10. And yet for all this her treacherous sister Judah have not turned unto me with her whole heart, but feedingly, said the Lord. And that word feedingly means lie deception. Alright, means lie deception. Disappointed falsehood. So you go back to the Lord, but you will lie. Okay? So you would say, I'm going to the Lord, but you will lie. You would just try to deceive me.
So you want me to go tell you, man? She was one of these things about what you call that. I ain't doing that. Right. Like when I say thing, we did this up. She's feeding you, man. She talk bloody woman. This is funny how I know, man. Like, Lord of y'all, we most likely see your fucking ass. Right. Most likely see you put no damn look like the Lord stupid. Listen, like, you think I'm dumb, nigga? Come on. I literally see what the hell you did. I seen what Adam and Eve did. Right. So I definitely see what the fuck you did.
Oh, shit. You see the woman having sex with another man, you ask her the question, hey, was you having sex with this man? She says, no, I haven't. Yeah. That's people.
Yeah.
This is Proverbs chapter 15, verse 3. The eyes of the Lord are in every place.
That's it.
Beholding the evil and the good.
That's it. So the Most High's eyes are in every place. Beholding the evil and the good. So hey, the Most High's beholding us right now. And those are for the good. You know, the Most High's watching for the evil. These wicked ass people. The Most High's seen it all. The Most High's seen the prophets, the men of the Lord come together, preach the word. The Most High's seen the wicked do their wickedness. So the Lord's seen our people do their wickedness. Right?
A wholesome tongue is a tree of life.
This is Hosea 4:16. For Israel slideth back as a backsliding heifer. Now the Lord thy power, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, will feed him as a lamb in a large place.
So feed him as a lamb in a large place.
Right. And that large place is America, right? Because when Esau came over to the Americans, like we was talking about Cristobal Colon, they was fucking them up, man. They was putting. Hey, look. Can you even find? Hey, like we talked about that before. Yeah. Can you find Gad anywhere down in the South? Can you find them in the Midwest? Can you find? Only place you can find them is when you're going out west, or up in North Dakota, fucking Wyoming. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go way the fuck out to find Gad on the reservations and shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't find. You're not seeing Gad walking around like Judah. Like Ephraim, shit, you'll see Ephraim. You see, you'll see the Dominicans. You know, you'll see Simeon, his tribe out here. You'll see almost every other tribe, but you will not see Gad like that, man. You don't see Gad heavy in these areas. You gotta go search for him, man. While Esau ate him up, he was a lamb, man. The Lord gave him like a lamb unto the lions, man. And he ate them straight the fuck up. You know? 7.
Who's that got the keys to my spaceship? Sell it all the kiss on my plate.
That's that wicked ass ride, man. Esau gets Jay fucked up, man. You know, he'll use your own witchcraft against you.
Ashes on your thighs, ready for surprise. Get a little patient. Who's that got the keys to my spaceship? Sell it all the kiss on my plate. I am not receiving, you know I don't take shit. I'm in my spaceship, getting that facelift. LA day trip. I mean them rib tips, caught the rip from ballin'. Oh, that's so it fallin'. 25 with a cardigan, safe through all my noses. I get a little impatient. Who's daddy got the keys to my spaceship?
Isaiah 24:10. The city of confusion is broken down, and this is the land of confusion. As we see, this little confusion as Satan try to handle the truth, try to substitute preaching his word. Okay, you know everything is spiritual before God. Okay, it's Isaiah 24:10. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man makes up in. So this city is broken down. Okay, this land is waste. Okay, it's wicked. Okay. Hey man, we been trying to preach his word, bring up the and preach to the elect and bring back people. But we ain't got this wicked ass nigga with his music on, bopping to his music. So we ain't trying to hear that wicked ass shit, man. Alright? And this land is breaking down as we go with Numbers 33 and 5. Okay, that only way to cleanse this earth is by the blood of him who spilled it.
Back to Hosea 4 and 17. Ephraim is joined to idols.
Yeah, Ephraim is joined to idols. Go ahead.
Let him alone.
Yeah, so that's why I said, and that's why again, that's why we go into the New Testament, speak about the Gentiles, things of that nature. That's because the Lord told them we were not supposed to deal with the northern tribe. And that's why a lot of our people too. That's why at the time the Romans, when Paul came on the scene, he spoke about the Gentiles. Those were Israelites who were ignorant, who didn't know who they were. That's why a lot of the Jews is like, no, they can't come back because why they're gone. They're not here no more. They're not doing as we do. They're heathens. We classify Judah, Benjamin, Levi classify the rest of the tribe as heathens because they weren't doing as they were supposed to. That's why he had some of us in the land that was doing right, but majority of Judah and Israel, they was doing right, man. Go ahead.
Ephraim is joined unto idols.
Yes, Ephraim is joined unto idols. Go ahead.
Let him alone. Their drink is sour. They have committed whoredom continually. Her rulers with shame do love give ye. The wind hath bound her up in her wings, and they shall be ashamed because of their sacrifices.
Real quick, it's Paul. Remember when Paul and Peter they had a dispute because see. When Paul came on the scene, his whole entire office to the Gentiles, but to the Israelite foreigners who didn't know who they were. And Paul's service was to the ones that didn't know. Go ahead.
This is Galatians chapter 3, verse 1. Oh, foolish Galatians.
No, sorry, no, two.
This is Galatians chapter 2 and 1. Then 14 years after I went up against Jerusalem with Barnabas and took Titus with me also, and I went up by revelation and communicated unto them that gospel which I preach among the Gentiles.
Yes, see, among the Gentiles, those were Israelites. Go ahead.
But privately to them which were of reputation.
So privately which were of reputation, who was that? Peter. Because they were of reputation. Because they followed Yahweh. See, go ahead.
Lest by any means I should run or had run in vain.
Yep.
But neither Titus, who was with me, being a Greek, was compelled.
Now, Titus being a Greek. Now, people say that word Greek. Well, no, he was of a heathen nation. But
neither Titus, who was with me, being a Greek.
Now, Timothy's father also was a Greek. Now, you can access one real quick. TV real quick. Access one. Go that word Grecian. Go ahead.
Was compelled to be circumcised.
That's it. So he was compelled to be circumcised. So Titus, why was Titus going to be? He was compelled to be circumcised. Because why? He was coming back to who he was. He was coming back to the knowledge. Also, Timothy he followed after the ways of the Greek, but Paul woke him up. So, no, bro, I'm an Israelite. So I got to go get circumcised.
Grecian in the blue letter means a Hellenist.
So Hellenist, go ahead.
One who imitates the manner and customs or the worship of the Greeks.
That's it. Go ahead.
And use the Greek's tongue.
And use the Greek tongue.
Used in the enmity of Jews born in foreign lands.
So a foreigner. So they were born foreigners in foreign lands. So that's why we all also old-time foreigners. And that's why that word Gentile are Israelites, man. Who were ignorant to the fact that they didn't know who they were. That's why the Lord said, let them alone, but they are going to idols. Right?
until Jews born in foreign land and speaking Greek.
They're speaking Greek. So that was Timotheus, that was Titus, because Titus was supposed to be circumcised. Go ahead.
It's Galatians chapter 2, verse 4.
Yep.
And that because of false brethren, unawares brought in, who came in privately to spy out our liberty.
Yeah, see, even that time you have false brothers that came up to spy the liberty. Right? Because you had spies. There's always been spies in this thing. Go ahead.
Spy out our liberty, which we have in Yahweh Shai, that they might bring us into bondage.
Yeah, so they might bring us into bondage because you will have what's it called? You will have spies in this thing. You got spies in every camp. You know what I'm saying? You got people that are just spies that Esau set up just a spy to see what's going on, to infiltrate the body. Go ahead.
To whom we gave place by subjection. No, not for an hour, that the truth of the gospel might continue with you. But of these who seem to be some way, whatsoever they were, it maketh no matter to me. The Most High accepted no man's person. For they who seem to be some way in conference added nothing to me. But contrariwise, when they saw that the gospel of the uncircumcision was committed unto me, as the gospel of the circumcision was unto Peter. For he that loved affectionately and Peter to the apostleship of the circumcision, the same was mighty in me toward the Gentiles. And when James, Cephas, and John, who seemed to be pillars, perceived the grace that was given unto me, they gave to me and Barnabas the right hands of fellowship, that we should go unto the heathen, and they unto the circumcision. Only they would that we should remember the poor, the same which I also was forward to do. But when Peter was come to Antioch, I withstood him to the face, because he was to be blamed.
And so now Paul rebuked Peter. That's why Peter was going off. Go ahead.
For before the certain came from James, he did eat with the Gentiles.
Yeah, so they don't eat with the Gentiles.
Before they came.
They'll eat with the foreigners. They was eating with the Greeks. Before the circumcised came in. Right? Go ahead.
He withdrew. But when they were come, he withdrew and separated himself, fearing them which were of the circumcision.
That's it. So they started acting funny. So because the foreigners came, the ones who they were uncircumcised and didn't know who they were coming back to the understanding they were Israelites. Well, you had those that were uncircumcised who knew they were Israelites, like, man, okay, fuck the niggas, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's just get away. Because right now, they're circumcised right here. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want them to judge him. Why didn't we? We weren't fucking with each other. We weren't messing with each other. They were not, Judah and Ephraim were not messing with each other at a certain point in time. And also the Jews that were dispersed, that weren't in the land, that were in Pontus, Galatia, Rome, Italy, they weren't dealing with the Jews that were in Jerusalem.
Like you said, a lot of them couldn't even speak Hebrew. So, you know, they were speaking Greek. They were speaking different tongues.
Exactly.
So they was looking down on them. Like, who you know, we know you are people, but still, who are you?
Exactly.
You're not even under our faith. You know, you don't believe in Yahweh Shai like you believe in Yahweh. Well, in Yahweh. Because the Jews, they didn't believe in the Pharisees. The Sadducees, you know, they wasn't really believing in Yahweh Shai. You know, so their whole thing was the law, right? The law. You know, but the Gentiles, really was in a better case because they got the understanding of Yahweh Shai. See, you know, they got their understanding of the salvation faster, better, quicker. You know, let me give this. This is Ephesians 2:11.
Yeah, beautiful.
Wherefore, remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh.
So being time past Gentiles in the flesh. So that's who Paul was speaking about. Israelites who did not know who they were. And that's why when you read Acts 17, he went to those and they real quick, give me Acts 17, he went to those that were the base of sword. It says, but they were sacrificed unto the unknown God. Go ahead.
Who are called uncircumcision.
Who are called uncircumcision, which means they weren't being circumcised. They weren't formed after the custom of their forefathers. They were in another way, and which ultimately goes back to the Greeks. Because we read that in First Maccabees 1:40, that Antioch said all people be as one and leave from their laws.
You see that Greek shit now come.
So yeah.
You see they be branding
Yeah,
themselves all that.
fraternities.
Yeah, fraternities, Alpha, Chi, Alpha, and all. You know what I mean? You see it all day. Look, it's the same thing. It goes right back. It goes right back into that. Back to Beast 1 and 20.
Right.
This is back to Ephesians 2 and 11. Circumcision by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hand.
That's it.
It's Galatians chapter 2 and 13. And the other Jews dissembled likewise with him. It's so much that Barnabas also was carried away with their dissimulation.
That's it. So Barnabas went over with Barnabas, even because Barnabas like, damn, you know, at the end of the day, they know who they are, they don't. So I'm gonna go rock with them. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
But when I saw that they walked not uprightly according to the truth of the gospel, I said unto Peter,
because Yahweh said he's down for all of Israel. See, and that was the main point why Paul was set up, to bring the fact of all Israel, not just only to the Jews. That's why I said to the Greeks and to the Gentiles. When Israelites were ignorant to the fact they didn't know who they were, that's why Yahweh said that. Not just for the Jews only, but for all.
I said unto Peter before them all, if thou, being a Jew, livest after the manner of Gentiles, and not as do the Jews, why compellest thou the Gentiles to live as do the Jews?
Yep.
We who are Jews by nature, and not sinners of the Gentiles, knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law.
That's it. So Paul was reminding Peter that, bro, it doesn't matter about the law. See, we're not going to be saved through the law. We're not going to be saved through the law. We're going to be saved through faith in grace in Yahweh Shai. And he gave to all men, which were Israelites. Go ahead.
But by the faith of Yahweh Shai, even we have believed in Yahweh Shai, that we might be justified by the faith of Yahweh Shai.
That's it. So even us here right now, we can't keep the law 100%. But we're all here justified through Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is going to justify us when he returns. And that's the law. The law can't save you. You can't be a fucking law demon and expect Yahweh Shai to live you. Let the law live you. But to be 100% accurate, if we were all under the law, take the law and get it together. We all would be.
Yeah, can't make it. We all see. It's too much going on in this world, that from our clothes to dealing with different women, laying with this woman and that. This ain't nothing but adultery. Kill you right there within itself. Food, yeah, oh man, we'd have been done, bro. We'd have been wiped out.
And that's the whole point. That was that grace period. That's why Yahweh Shai is our grace period.
That's right.
You know, and that's what Peter even forgot that point. He was like,
Yeah, I just want to read it back on Ephesians because it'll kick us into it. Verse 12. That at that time ye were without Hamashiach. And that's what I was saying earlier. See, the Jews didn't have Hamashiach. The circumcision didn't have it because they didn't believe in him like that. But the Gentiles took that belief, right? So they end up being in a better case than a lot of Jews, man. Because a lot of them, now you had some followers of it.
like Peter, the ones that follow.
Right,
like
you
Mark,
had
like Mark, Andrew.
There you
know,
go.
they all believed on Yahweh Shai.
That's
and
right.
You had multitude that believed on Yahweh Shai.
Right.
But they follow after Peter.
That's right, but you had your Caiaphas. You had your what's my man name? Damn. All right, but you had the Sadducees and Pharisees that didn't that didn't believe that Yahweh Shai was our savior. Because why? They wanted to be the king.
Yeah.
They wanted to rule.
Yeah.
You know.
And then also you read the scriptures when Yahweh Shai was crucified. It was written in Hebrew and in Greek.
Yeah, that's right.
It was written because why? Why was it written both in Hebrew and Greek?
Because
It was Israelites. There was Israelites. That was in Greece. That was their fucking
Greek was
king.
their language. That's right.
It's just it's fucking basic understanding.
Hey, just like here in America.
Yeah.
Hey, we speak the king's language,
Exactly.
English, right?
We don't speak.
But we're not so-called white people.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But
Israelites.
we're American. We're well, you call you African, but we Israelites. You know what I'm saying? But if they call you by here, they'll call you a black American or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Or a black African or whatever the fuck they call you. You know what I'm saying? But it's the same difference. You just speak English because you live in that land, and that's the power of that land. That language is English. You know, hell, the English, and they got English in such a power. You can go to like the Philippines, Thailand, and shit, they speak fucking English.
Yeah.
You know, they gotta know this shit. You know, since many other countries that, you know, like France, they speak English is like their next language up.
Yeah.
You gotta know it.
Yeah, 'cause Esau conquered the whole known world.
That's right.
So just how we have I come back, everybody gonna speak Hebrew.
That's right. That's right.
Everybody gonna speak Hebrew.
That pure tongue, that
That's
holy tongue.
That's right.
And then which go back to Phoenician language, or you want to call it the Canaanite language, whichever way you like to say it.
Yep.
It all still means the same. All right, verse 12, that at the time ye were without Hamashiach, being aliens from the commonwealth.
Let's say aliens. If you're an alien to some of your strange, like you have Jamaicans. They won't be born in Jamaica. They'll be here in America. They'll go back to Jamaica, but they'll be called foreigner. Are you foreigner? You foreigner? You foreigner? Well, that's what they were classified as foreigners. You were foreign because you're still Jamaican, but you weren't born in Jamaica. Well, you had Israelites that were born in Greece. You know what I'm saying? Over in Corinth and Rome.
That's right. Yeah.
All throughout the world, Pontus, right? But they weren't born in Jerusalem. They still were Israelites, but they just weren't born in the land. There's no difference. You're still an Israelite by blood, by seed.
Hey, we're going to go to that word commonwealth right quick.
The administration of silver affair, a state or commonwealth, citizenship, the right of a citizen.
That's it. So the citizenship. So you weren't given the citizenship of the Israelites. You was under the name of a Roman.
That's right.
That's right, because you had small churches in Rome. But they all were Israelites. That was a whole Israelite congregation. Well, no, fuck you. He had no damn had no Edomites up in there. They had no damn Chinese up in there. No, they all were other tribes. Judah, Benjamin, Levi, whatever tribe they were from.
Alien means to alienate, estrange,
To be strange.
to be shut out from one's fellowship and intimacy.
So one's fellowship. What is our fellowship? What does fellowship say? Our fellowship is we have Were we not given the laws by Moses? Was that not our first fellowship?
That's right.
And did not Hosea say that he shall be a no people unto me?
That's right. So I'm going to read that again. This is Ephesians 2 and 12. That at the time ye were without Hamashiach, being aliens. What that word alien say? Strangers.
To alienate, estrange, to be shut out from
one's worship,
fellowship, and intimacy.
So we were shut out from the belief of Yahweh Shem Shah.
Because of what?
We were shut out from being Israel, Yasharallah, like not a day. Right?
We were pushed out, we were scattered, and we were taught to do as Egypt did. Right? It's meant the book, but see, that's why they put the Apocrypha. Because see, when you read the Apocrypha, you read the book of Maccabees, it explains on why later on you go to Matthew, you go to Ephesians, you go to Galatians, you go to Corinth, you go to other scriptures speak about Gentiles. Those were the same Israelites who kept the laws of the Greeks. And they call it Antiochus.
That's right.
That's all that is. Well, you got Christians, they just want to read the Bible, and they be like, well, this is from all people. Right. It's not possible because we were scattered abroad and we were ended up being confused through captivity after captivity. That's our problem.
Esau can never be, the so-called white man can never be estranged from Israel, from Yahweh Shem Shah, because he was never with him.
Exactly.
Right? You got to be with something before, right? The laws, the statutes, commandments was never given unto any nation but Israel.
Exactly.
Right? The Lord said, I have not known any nation but Israel. Okay? So you have to be a part of the nation to be cut off from that nation, to be brought back into that nation. There's no way about it. You can't be that nation unless you were the original of that nation.
They can't be Israelites. They can't be Israelites. No. They gotta be of our seed line.
That's right. You gotta be of that nation.
That's right. To be grafted back. You can't get grafted back to something that you never knew.
You never was in.
If you never had no part of the deliverance of Egypt, how the hell can you receive 10 Commandments?
And that's the point. If you didn't come out of Egypt, if you wasn't the forefathers and foremothers and four children that came out of Egypt, the strangers was the Hamite slaves.
Exactly.
They were taken from slaves.
Exactly.
Okay, but if you didn't come out of there, out of hell, and if you fine, well you don't look like a Hamite to me. You know what I'm saying? You know. So if you came out of that, I keep pointing at hell. But if you came out of that, because with the tribes, if you was a part of the 12 tribes of Israel, and you came out of Egypt, then you were brought back from being a stranger into here. Just like Just like if the brother right here was, hey, well, he's our long lost brother. We ain't seen his brother. We just seen his brother again. You know what I'm saying? You know, now we done have many other brothers. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but this one brother, we ain't seen him. Hey, this brother come back. You know what I'm saying? Man, this brother must have been around us somewhere in one of our lifetimes. Right? He's been brought back to the fold. You come back. But if you're a so-called white man, if you are any other nation on this earth, and you're not an Israelite, you cannot be brought back to something you were never a part of.
You will never give the law of circumcision, which was the first that started with Abraham, the law of circumcision on the 8th day. And ultimately, we see Moses was the first representation of that alien.
That's right.
Because Moses was an alien. Because when Moses was brought up as an Egyptian, he wasn't born in the custom of Israel. He was born after he was after Pharaoh. So Moses literally thought he was an Egyptian until the Lord revealed to him that he was Israelite. Moses didn't know that at first. He was brought up in the adoption out of God to do as the Egyptians. It's the same thing. There's no difference.
And how you know Esau wasn't in Egypt? Because what happened when we got out of the land, when we got through the sea, after the Lord split the sea? Hey, who hindered us? It was Esau. Yeah, he was up in the mountains. Yeah. So we know he wasn't a part of that covenant, because he was there. He was in our land, but he was up in the caves, putting hell on us as we was coming through. He wouldn't give us water. He wouldn't give us passage. So we know Esau was there, like he's always here, right? But he was not of the covenant.
Exactly. And there's another time, see the time of Daniel, when they said that the time of trouble. Yeah. So the time we were rebuilding the temple. After the Babylonian king came down, the Syrian, the Persian, and the Medes let us go back and go rebuild the temple. But you had other nations who wanted to build with us.
Build with them.
Nehemiah 4, they hindered us, but then we told them no. This has something to do with this our thing.
That's like the Persians.
And they got pissed off, and they started fucking with us.
They hindered. They wouldn't let us get wood. Exactly. They wouldn't let us. It was what was that? King Darius. King Darius had let us out, and they would, and he was like, "Well, go pay tribute unto your Lord." Exactly. The Lord told him to go pay the tribute. And when the children of Israel went out, when they got out of the captivity, from the Babylonian captivity, we were released through the Persians. They wouldn't let us. They kept hindering us to get wood, to get the supplies that we needed, because we refused to let them build with us.
Exactly. He got pissed off.
Just like now. You tell Esau, no, you can't be a part, it's not for you. And what they gonna do? They gonna start sending centurions down. They gonna call the police on you. Oh, they're down here saying all these mean things to us. They're saying all these, but this is not for you.
Look at Bo Cavalone.
Yeah.
Bo Cavalone saw something the Israelites, he can't help himself.
He got big in that double.
Yeah, I know, but he wanna be a part of it so bad, man. Yeah. He wanna be us so bad, bro. But you can't. It's not don't apply to you, man.
Hey, what's that? When you, it's like the puzzle pieces when you was a kid. You did the little circle, you got the triangle, you got the square, rectangle. Hey man, you can't put the fucking rectangle in a little circle peg, bro. Hey bro, you don't belong, bro. And what's that match? Which one of these don't belong? You know, you gotta find, hey bro, Esau, you don't belong, man. It's just what it is, bro. You don't fit the description group, man. It's not you, bro. You don't fit the description, man. You know, when you go back into the scriptures, what's the description? Well, I'll start with Job 30:30, Wisdom of Solomon the 5th, 1 and 5. Then I'll start going on to Revelation, or I'll go on to Daniel 10. Well, you gotta fit that description. If you don't fit the description, I'll go to Revelation 4 and 3. Hey, if you're not looking like a sardis stone, if you don't look like a jasper stone, we look it up and see what it looks like. Well, you don't fit the description.
It ultimately goes to the sea.
That's it. But even from a physical standpoint, right? Oh, it's not about color, but it is about color too. It's about the whole kit and caboodle. It's all of it. Yeah, some of us gonna look like Esau. That's true. Some of us gonna look like so-called white people. Some gonna look like so-called Moabites, Japanese, Airmen. Some of us gonna look like the fucking Persians. Hey, we probably walk past people every day. It might look like, hey, we might be in jail.
Remember that last couple weeks ago?
Yeah, oh yeah. It came up to the camp. Hey, so you know your spirit gonna show who you are, right? So, but the point being is that it's still the predominance of our people having certain features to them. Okay?
This is Jeremiah chapter 12, verse 9. My heritage is unto me as a speckled bird.
That's a speckled bird. So you look up a speckled bird, it had white dots on it, black dots on it. It looks different. And so it's why, because like I said, we've been scattered abroad. So that's why you read Revelation 7 says kingdoms and tongues and nations and people. Those, and then you know that word people don't speak about Israelites anyway.
Yeah.
But those people are Israelites from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They were given the promise. Right. They were the seed line of the promise. They weren't strangers who didn't have the seed line.
Right. The birds round about are against her.
That's just all people listen. People are like unto a speckled bird.
Numbers 1 and 18. And they assembled all the congregations together on the first day of the second month. And they declared their pedigrees after the families by the house of their father.
That's it. So your lineage is your father. That's why he always said that Howard Shah being considered as the son of David. Right?
Not the son of Mary.
No, the son of, because it's about the seed. Right. It's about the lineage. And lineage is one's root, one's beginning. So and it's sperma, right? Seed. It's your line. It's a seed line.
It is Hebrews 7 and 14. For it is evident that our Lord sprung out of Judah, of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood.
Exactly, because Judah are the so-called Negroes. Hey, go ahead, you know, go Jeremiah 14 and 2. Jeremiah 14 and 2.
Right here, somebody grab this slide. Go back to Ephesians 2 and 12. Ephesians 2 and 12.
It's Ephesians chapter 2, verse 12. That at the time you were without Yahweh Shai, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel, and strangers from the covenant of promise, having no hope.
So they were strangers to the covenant. They didn't know that the covenant was for them. Now you ask Jake now today, like I said again, it's just coming. You ask nigga now today, bro, you get the promise of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I don't know about that. I haven't heard it. Well, because why? You're a stranger. You didn't know. You was the same thing. That's why Paul's whole thing was to the Gentiles. It's an Israelite, go ahead.
Having no hope, and without the Most High in the world.
You having no hope without the Most High in the world. Go ahead.
But now in Yahweh Shai, ye who sometimes were far off are made nigh by the blood of Yahweh Shai.
Why are they far? Because they were scattered. They were far off because they were pushed out the land. Go ahead.
Hey, go ahead. I'm sorry. I got to precept that because I want to try to precept this. This is where when you came out of Hebrews. Right here, this is Lamentations 4 and 8. Their visage is blacker than coal.
That's it. Visage is blacker than coal. That word visage is appearance. So their appearance is blacker than the coal. Go ahead.
They are not known in the streets.
Yep.
Their skin cleaveth to their bones.
Yep.
It is withered. It is become like a stick.
That's it. That's it. So our visage is blacker than the coal. So I mean, they were a dark-skinned, complected people. They weren't known in the streets by us. They weren't known who they were. Go ahead, sir.
Jeremiah 14 and 2.
Yeah.
Judah mourneth at the gates thereof.
That's language.
Judah mourneth at the gates thereof. Language. They are black unto the ground.
They are black unto the ground.
And the cry of Jerusalem is gone up.
That's it. So that's why we know that the Lord was so from Judah. That's how the so-called Negroes are the so-called black men. And that's the only so-called black man. We read Genesis 49. I think it's like 9 speaks about how his eyes were red with wine. That's why Yahweh Shai was a wine man. And he drink like wine, man. Drink gotta drink wine. That's how you know certain characteristics we've been given in the Bible to know who we are. Well, we go right here.
Ephesians chapter 2, verse 14. For he is our peace, who hath made both one and hath broken down the middle wall of partition.
Yes, that's it. So he broke. So Yahweh Shai broke the middle wall of partition between us and the Most High. Which go ahead.
Having abolished in his flesh the enmity, even the law of commandments contained in ordinance.
Yep.
Ordinance, for to make in himself of twain one new man.
That's it. That's talking about the two candlesticks, Judah and Ephraim. Because they see that. So therefore Yahweh Shai came. That's why to save all. It's talking about all of Israel to bring us back. That's right. Go ahead.
Having abolished.
Hey, that's how you know he's Solomon. And that's another thing that take him back to when Solomon was together, when King David was together. Hey, the whole tribes were all together. You know, Solomon was that peace. You know, Solomon was the peace during the time, because after his son Rehoboam split the kingdom, and Jeroboam was the general. But the point is that Rehoboam split. That when you go back into Ecclesiastes, Solomon talks about who knows when he leaves this earth, who gonna rule after him, or what, you know, how all this is vanity. Because when he died, who gonna be who gonna lead his kingdom, right? But when King David left the earth, the Lord told him that I'm gonna raise up a son. He rose up Solomon, right, to rule in his state. So he knew he had a beautiful rulership. He knew his son was gonna continue his rulership in glorious. But yet after Solomon, he didn't know who was gonna rule. He didn't know how Rehoboam was gonna destroy the kingdom of Israel, man. You know, but that was for the Lord. But the Lord wanted it to happen because why? Israel was going off, man.
This is Genesis chapter 49, verse 8. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise.
This is not Judah being the head tribe, right? Which Yahweh shall spring out. Go ahead.
Thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemy.
I was ahead thinking about enemy. You see Jake in all throughout the entertainment system, right? Football, basketball, the government,
military, high position.
Exactly. So our hands are naked of our enemies. Go ahead.
Thy father's children shall bow down before thee.
Yup.
Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He couched as a lion.
So when you a lion's about to pounce about to attack his enemies in the 60s. You see, Jake was heavy in revolt against the system. Black Panthers, all through that nature, right? Go ahead.
And as an old lion, who shall rouse him up?
Yep.
The scepter shall not depart from Judah.
So the scepter shall not fall from Judah, which was the rulership. And that's why scepter, the ruler class.
Hey, sloppy. When we was looking at yesterday. We was
Germany.
Yeah,
the
was the
crown.
What was the crown he had?
Yeah,
Was that the black? Was that no? That was King
Charles.
King Charles.
King Charles. Yeah, he had a scepter.
We was looking at it. You see his crown. It was fucking magnificent, bro. And his scepter, you know, and would show the rulership.
Yeah, and that's why the Lord said, I shall send the Lord said, I think it's in Zechariah 9, he said, I will say it to Judah first. How through the truth, because who was the first to come out with the knowledge? Abimelech, which we know to be Elijah the prophet.
That's right.
He was from the tribe of Judah. And then you had, in the 70s, you had One West became El Yaquar, King Marshall, Hafiz Ariyah, and they all from the tribe of Judah. And then now you're seeing Ephraim come, you see the Mexicans come together, you know, all different, NASA, all come together, all started with Judah.
This is Malachi chapter 4, verse 5.
Yep.
Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord.
Exactly, so that was Elijah the prophet out of Venice. He came out to bring us back to who we once were. Right, go ahead.
And he shall turn the minds of the fathers to the children, and the minds of the children to the fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse.
That's it. That's what we're doing right now. That's how we know that Elijah came back in the reincarnation as Abba Biggins, man. That's it.
Y'all go back to your
It's Genesis chapter 49, verse 9. Judah, like verse 10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet. Unto Shiloh.
Hey, so that's out of his loins, man. Because what's between your feet is your loins. So you will always have kids. Because like I said, when we go back to Rome, you go back to Rome, you go back to you go back to the Byzantine Empire. You go back to when we was ruling during all through the Dark Ages, Italy, Rome. You know, when you go back to those times, that was Judah that was ruling, man. You know, we always been a rulership, even right up to like the 1800s. Jake was still fucking ruling in certain parts of Europe.
Yeah, Germany. Yep.
Okay? So hey, we have always had a heavy rulership.
A lot of our last names go back to Germany.
Yeah.
Go back to England and Germany.
Our last name.
Look at our last name. Epis, right? We got that family
go back to family
that goes back to England.
Right, go back to England.
You know? So then that's another thing too, because why we rule all through Germany, England, right? That was our domain.
And you can go over there now, and what is that? King James? They got him on the building, but they cut his nose and shit off. You know, they was trying to get into a cathedral over there. They was trying to get rid of a lot of the black icons. And over there you go, and they got it in this group used to be called, was it Yahweh 144?
Oh yeah,
yeah, they went did it. They showed these statues over there in Europe, and these street used to be called Blackboard, right? King Charles' son, right? They took that shit down. They changed it. They started changing these things because of this bullshit with taking down all these statues of Esau ruling over here. When they took down the statue in New York with all that. Right? So, but over there they couldn't really get rid of all those statues, so they just started busting the nose and the lips off. Like I said earlier, how you know the Gentiles are partially, not always, but a thing we look a certain way, right? The Israelites has a certain look about themselves. Some of us got wide noses, some of us got big lips. Our lips Esau always got little frail ass, thin ass lip. We got a different look about ourselves, and that's why they would bust off the noses and they would bust off the lips. Even when you go back down to Egypt, you know, they bust off the noses and lips of certain statues to hide the real judges of the earth. And they got it over there in England, man. They got it, man. They bust his whole nose, tear the whole, bro, trying to tear his whole face up, man. And you can see his hair, bro, locked the fuck up, you know?
Right here, we got this right here. You got the coat of arms, and that's how we see in Europe and shit like that. And they all were Israelites. They were Jakes. But Esau, like with the Renaissance, why the Renaissance period means rebirth.
And we talk about the brother that was standing over there with that shield. You know, we was talking about the brother that was standing there with the shield. Remember? You got the picture with the brother standing with the shield. He was standing here. You know, hey man, with the cup. Russian icons, Hey, with that golden cup in his hand, man. You know, with the chain around his neck. You know, he posing and shit. You know, that's Jake, man. You know, we can't help ourselves, man. That's the spirit, bro.
So you brothers that don't know, we was ruling. You know, these are the coat of arms, man. In England, Italy, you know, Germany, we was ruling. We was the ruling class at that time. And that's why Esau calls it the dark age.
Right, because why? The dark people were ruling. Right? They was trying to take over from Jake in that time, man. But the Lord had to take us down because we was wicked. You know, Jake was, that's why when the Moors ruled for 1,000 years, and that only means black right here. You know, they have, that's something to this day.
So they can't
get it down.
Can't take it down.
It's been so many, it was so many statues of the rulership of the so-called Negroes in Europe. They couldn't take them all down. So the ones they couldn't take down, they started busting the faces. They started busting the lips and noses off of them.
The spirit, like,
that's
the spirit for the top is like a
what's that? First Maccabees?
Yeah, they started painting.
Yeah, they started. Well, no, I think it's the third. Maccabees third chapter.
This is Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. He covered the bases of the judges thereof.
That's it. So Esau covered the base of judges thereof. Even the Israelites, the original Swedes. No, and that's why the letter with Abraham was
Benjamin Franklin.
But Benjamin Franklin he had a letter called it was swarthy complexion, which means they were black. They were swarthy people, and we was all through Europe, Germany ruling. We were kings.
Russia.
See, because they forget that the fact that we were
Scotland.
See, we were
Ireland.
We were kings. But see, some of the first slave ships came from Europe.
That's where they was
coming from. Europe to over here
get put out.
Because Jack was already ruling. And the ships didn't only come from West Africa, so it came from Europe. And a lot of us out here that come from, a lot of us out here in America, a lot of us came from Europe. We just don't know it.
Either you were already here.
Or either you were already here, or you were the northern tribe. But the southern tribe, they had European saints coming from down here in America. They had the ones that were here, and they had the ones that was Africa. So them from Africa to Europe, or Europe to America, Africa to America.
That's why they call that the triangle slave trade. Right? And the apostle was talking about that. Right. But it was the slave trade was all over. You know, you got people coming out of Portuguese. You know, because in Portuguese, the kings and rulers were Jakes.
Exactly.
Right? Italy, kings and rulers was Jake. You know?
The whole known blood at one time. That's why the Holy Roman Empire was a vast empire, and we was the face of it. But see, now Esau went through and started defacing it. That's why the Renaissance. I said, well, there's no history.
There's no history on it.
That's bullshit, man.
Because why? It's the Dark Ages. That was a dark time in history. Yeah, it was, because Negroes was ruling. So Esau don't want to show that dark time in history.
Liar, man.
Because one comes up and one goes down.
Exactly.
It's always going to be a rulership You know, but this is just that last rulership of Esau.
If not, where and who is he?
Yeah, so many Esau, even who you lied to it and told them who was just niggas. And now when you go, like you learn more by yourself on YouTube and on the internet, you ever learn in fucking school.
Yeah.
You go through all the kindergarten through fucking K through 12, you learn nothing. I ain't learned shit. I can't remember a damn thing I learned in school, man. I don't remember. But I didn't start learning shit till I got so we learned this knowledge.
These Bible up, man.
You know what I'm saying? We ain't learned shit. That's why they don't tell you anything. They don't tell you anything about yourself. They want you to completely say that mind that you're a nigga. They want you to know that you're a king. You're your mind's on a higher level of thinking now. So you don't look at Esau the same way you think when you're in the world. You like, man, I'm a king. I got this is shit for me.
If you walk past an Edomite, knowing this knowledge, and you hold your fucking head down, you wicked. You ain't none of both. When you walk past an Edomite, when you walk past Esau, you can't look that fucking devil in the eye. I don't even know what she said. She said something. I think she said praise the Lord. I don't know. But when you walk and you can't stand and look that devil in the eye, man. Hey, you gotta rethink your shit. You know? You gotta rethink your shit. It's like
Yeah.
that's Satan. You see Satan, man, do me up like that, bro.
It's all.
Now, you can have that real quick at Megan TV. Look at that. You said was that Megan? What was it?
48. You 48.
Ready. This is First Maccabees. Right, First Maccabees. 3 and 48. 3 and 38. 3 and 48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen has sought to paint the likeness of their image.
That's it. That's what they did. That's what they started doing. They opened up the book of the law and they started painting their own images. They started doing their own thing, making the Messiah white, making what's going on?
All right.
Making the Israelites the so-called white men. You know what I'm saying? Doing all that wickedness because why? They were trying to hide history. They were hiding the true history of who was going on. Because see, they don't want you to know that they were peasants. And that time,
Meyer M. Shell Bauer, Rothschild. His real name, the original name was Bauer, which when you go back and look it up, it goes back to being peasants. Right? That's why he switched his name to Red Shield. Rothschild.
Yep.
Right? Because they were the peasants of that land. They was the ones out there with the pitchforks and shit. Right? Hey, the wild man. Who the hell you think the wild man is?
Yeah.
Hairy as fuck. Yeah. You know, going around with all that hair all up and down his body and shit. And Esau like that not a day. They grow hair like that's why they shave their shit all the time. Cause they be hairy than a motherfucker, man. The real Bigfoot is the so-called white man, man. You know?
Yeah,
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, Sasquatch. I just start singing. Sasquatch. You know?
First Maccabees 3
Hey,
and 48.
it's like it. Hey, the Moors had said that they couldn't tell the difference between an Edomite male or a female. You had to literally shave. Only difference you knew was that by the breasts, because their nipples would be the only thing that wouldn't be covered up by hair. Everything else was so hairy. Everything else was so hairy that you couldn't tell that they were. You couldn't even tell if they was having sex with a male or a female. That's why they started shaving. You know, the Moors, when you go back to the Moors, it's got books on it, where you talk about the Moors had to civilize their ass. Had to teach them how to shave their bodies and shit. Yeah, man. You know, they had to teach them to bathe, bath. They had to teach them how to take care of their bodies, man. You couldn't tell the difference.
Like before all these shaving, razors and stuff, like they also want to make it so hairy.
Right.
All the hair, they nose,
yeah,
back, all
they come out the ears and shit.
Yeah, all the ears,
yeah, man. It's horrible, bro. Horrible. Go ahead, what you got? Hate that fucking. I grew up loving that shit when I was younger. I can't stand that shit.
I gotta be put in jail or something. You listen to it now.
Man, bro.
What's what is it? The most I'm sorry. I'm going to speak about mom. It's a Thessalonians. It's either first Thessalonians or second.
Say that again.
It's either-
Yeah.
it's either- 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 it's either
I can't remember what's that.
I got on my phone, I just gotta get to it. Somebody speak. Go ahead and speak.
You know, this is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 8. And then saw that wicked be revealed.
That's it. So then saw wicked be revealed. And we were reading right now, we revealed. He saw for like what, 5 minutes? About his last robbery. Go ahead.
Whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth.
And we can shoot them with the spirit of our mouth. We got the book right here. Show them online. You got the other book. This another book we got. You know what I'm saying? Going into how we moved differently. But you can tell these Edomites now that wasn't King Charles was Edomite, King James was Edomite. But no, the truth of it is they all were dark skinned men. And they're not the only men in the Bible.
See, Benjamin Franklin told on.
Exactly.
In his memoir.
And it shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan. With all power and signs and lying wonders.
Yes, because you can see all lying wonders. He saw the spread of so many lies through all of the whole known world. It's ridiculous. The whole world believes in the lie. Right?
And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth.
And see, those ones that have perished, they didn't receive love of the truth. They didn't receive this knowledge. Go ahead.
That they may be, that they might be saved to them that are lost.
That's it. So our being to them that are lost. And also that Isaiah 25:11, that the covenant cast shall be all the people. And so that covenant cast is being lifted up, man. You know, that veil is being lifted up, the skirt is being lifted through the prophets of the Lord.
And that shows whenever we preach His word, we can't just to a person who's not gonna believe this thing, we can't just force them to believe this thing. Okay, you gotta have the zeal of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, the Spirit of the Lord, to be able to receive this. Okay, the Lord has to give it to you through the Spirit. Okay, we can't come up to you and just say, hey, you're an Israelite. They're gonna be suddenly, oh, I'm an Israelite. Hey, call Lord Yahweh Shem. No, they're not gonna do that. All right, they gotta have the zeal and the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahshua to understand this. And it's a form of spiritual power.
This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 24. Faithful is he that calleth you. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 24. Faithful is he that calleth you, who also will do it. Right? Just like the ox said, man, you just can't come inside this truth, man. It's based off of the Spirit, man. It's based off of the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahshua that gave it to you. That's why the whole scripture of this says, faithful is he that calleth you, man.
So with that, we're going to give all praise to Abba Noah.
Yeah.